All right, so this video is all about the top 6 luxury neighborhoods here in the city of Temecula, California. I'm gonna rank them 1 through 6. I'm gonna give you my opinion and tell you what I think makes them so great. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I am a realtor and team leader for the Short Real Estate team here in Temecula, California and Murrieta, California. And I work here at Keller Williams. And this video is all about the top luxury neighborhoods here in the city of Temecula, California. So I'm gonna rate them 1 through 6. I'm gonna give you my opinions on each area and each neighborhood, tell you what I think makes them so great, and hopefully give you guys some good information to help point you in the right direction if you're looking for a cool luxury neighborhood here in Temecula. So before I get into all the info, just do me a favor. If you're liking videos like this, please hit like, please hit subscribe. So we have new videos that come out each and every week. We have videos talking about the best neighborhoods, the worst neighborhoods, best schools, what part of town you want to live in, etc. And then we have market updates that come out each month as well, keeping you guys updated what's going on with inventory and how home prices and how quickly homes are selling, etc. So if you want to see more videos like that, like I said, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we have new videos coming out each and every week. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, I would love to hear from you. So you're going to see my information either down below the video or here at the end. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email. I have people that reach out all the time, happy to help answer any questions that you may have, point you in the right direction, or of course myself and my team, we would love to help you out with your search. So feel free and reach out. Of course would love to hear from you. All right, so let's go ahead and get into my list. I'm going to start at number 6 and I'm going to work my way up. And where I'm going to start is the wine country area here in Temecula. So wine country is kind of an interesting area. And it's just that it is an area, it's not a specific neighborhood. If you're not familiar, the city of Temecula has over 50 wineries here locally. So that's usually where Temecula kind of pops up on people's radars, right? Is they come out here for a wedding, for wine tasting, for a bachelorette party, for a wine tour, anything like that. And that's kind of where it pops up on the map. But there's over 50 wineries, and where those wineries are located, there's a ton of private homes and estates and properties out there in the area. So you can live out there, out by the wineries. It's super, super pretty out there. It's rolling hills and very pretty views and vineyards and fruit trees and all types of cool stuff. But it's not like a specific neighborhood. So these are all going to be custom homes that have been built over time. One of the interesting things about the area is it's not within the city limits of Temecula. So it's actually just part of the county. So it is unincorporated part of Riverside County. You do have a Temecula mailing address, etc. But you don't have the same regulations that you would have if you live inside the actual city of Temecula. So you're just dealing with county regulations. A big thing, the reason I mention that, a big thing for people is when they're looking to do an Airbnb, the city of Temecula has outlawed Airbnbs, but out in wine country, they are okay because you don't deal with those city regulations. So that's just something good to know if you're thinking about doing an Airbnb. But it's a super pretty area out there. You can live close to wineries. You can be a little bit more remote if that's something you want to do. They're going to be larger properties, anywhere from 4 to 6 acres is typically what you're going to see. You might see something a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, depending on certain areas. But most of them are going to be pretty large properties. There's a ton of people have a ton of vineyards. They have fruit trees. They have horse property, a lot of horse property out in wine country because it's a pretty flat area. There's kind of some rolling hills, but mostly pretty flat. Obviously, each specific lot is going to be different, but ton of horse property out there, which makes it different from some of the other large property areas that are here in Temecula. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But because of that, there's a lot of draws out there. Something to know is that you get a little bit of a hodgepodge of different properties out there, right? So you may look at something that is built within the last 10, 15 years that's super updated and super beautiful and 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 square feet in this cool mansion, true estate, right? That's super developed in this super cool place. One lot over, you may find something that's maybe a manufactured home that was built in 1980 that maybe is a little bit dated. The property isn't quite as taken care of, right? It can be a little bit of a hodgepodge, right? And so it's going to be that way when you're dealing with these custom properties and people have owned them for years, and maybe the house was built in 1980, is one of the first people that lived here in Temecula, right? So you get a little bit of a hodgepodge out there, and that's going to happen in those areas. So when you're looking at a specific lot, you always want to pay attention to what the surrounding area looks like, what the surrounding neighborhood looks like, and who your neighbors are going to be. So just something to keep in mind. But wine country is super pretty. Like I said, it's great for potential horse property, for Airbnbs, and it could be a really good option for a lot of people, and there's some really cool places. Next on my list, so number 5 is going to be the area of Delo. So Delo is a really cool area. It is on the exact opposite side of town. So wine country is very, very east in the city of Temecula, and Delo, if you're on the 15 freeway, is directly to the west. So if you look to the west, there's these big, huge hills, green mountainous looking area, and that's going to be the area of Delo. Delo is also in an unincorporated area here in Riverside County. So again, you don't have those same rules that the city of Temecula has, but pretty much that entire area is governed by an HOA. So there's a few different HOAs up there. They are not very costly at all. They're anywhere from like 40 to $100 per year. They're really almost nothing. But when there's an HOA, they do have some rules in place where you can only do certain things with your property, etc. One of which they do also outlaw Airbnbs. So you don't get the same benefit if you're trying to go the Airbnb route. They are, again, going to be very large properties, so anywhere from 4 to 6 acres. You really don't see very many manufactured homes up there, so that's going to be pretty rare. More common in wine country, pretty rare up in the Delo area. It's also different terrain, so you have a ton of avocado groves, you have fruit groves, you'll see some vineyards planted, etc. But it's more of a rolling terrain, really hilly, even mountainous. So because of that, it is not a great area for horse property. There are people that live up there and have horses, but it's just not near as common as it's going to be out in wine country, just because people's land and property is just so much more hilly. That's one of the reasons that avocados grow so well up there. There's a ton of oak trees. It's a different terrain, a little bit higher elevation, definitely a little bit different area than wine country. But there's some really cool homes up there. You're definitely going to feel a little bit more secluded, where wine country, because it's a little bit flatter, you don't necessarily have a ton of privacy depending where you're located. Where Delo, when you're up on a cliffside or up on a hill, and it's much more private just because of the general terrain up there. So. Number 4 on my list is going to be the area of the reserve at Crown Hill. So I think this is a really cool area. It's very, very small. A lot of people don't even know that it exists. But Crown Hill is a tract home neighborhood here in Temecula. It is positioned pretty far east, very close to the wine country area, but it's a tract home, right? There's these couple thousand tract homes that are in this collection with HOA. It's called Crown Hill, and then on the back side of that Crown Hill community is where the reserve is. So the reserve is a really cool area. It's gated. It's where like these semi-custom estates are on the back side of Crown Hill. They're anywhere from like a half acre to 1 acre estates. They're super private, super pristine, a lot of prestige there. Of course, it's going to be a lot more money again as well. Larger homes, anywhere from like 3,000 to 5,000 square feet, semi-customs, all types of cool features. They were built a little on the newer side, so anywhere from like the mid 2000s, so probably 2004 to 2010-ish, right around there, depending on each different house. But I think it's a really cool area, very private, and very, very prestigious for sure. Area number 3 for me is going to be the Santiago States. Santiago States is a really cool area. One of my favorite things about it is it's so central to town. So they're going to be larger properties, anywhere from like half acre to 2 acres is going to be most common. They are going to be custom homes that have been built over time. Some of them were built anywhere from the early 80s all the way up to, there's even some construction that has finished up over the last couple years, and there's even some vacant lots that are still selling here and there there, so new houses are still being built. But what's nice about it is it's so close to town. So it is located right next to the 15 freeway, right between Rancho California Road, that's an off-ramp, and Temecula Parkway, that's an off-ramp off the freeway. So right there, right in the middle, right in the heart of Temecula, you're minutes away from all the shopping, you're minutes away from Old Town Temecula, all that type of stuff. So you're not secluded at all. You're really right there in the heart of town. There's a ton of horse properties there as well. So it's, for the most part, it's a very flat area. So great for horse properties. A lot of people have horse stalls and all types of different stuff for animals and whatnot. But they're just not as large of properties as that Duluth area and wine country area was that I was talking about. You do have an HOA in most parts of the community there, so they're not super restrictive, but you are within city limits, so you have those other restrictions that the city is going to apply as well. But a lot of really cool properties. There's going to be some view lots, definitely a lot that have been remodeled over the last 5, 10, 20 years. Some really cool places, and then you'll see some homes that are a little bit older, again, built in the 80s, maybe haven't been updated in quite some time and might need a little bit of love that the new buyer would do today. So I think it's kind of a cool area, and the biggest benefit there, I think, is just going to be the location for sure. Area number 2 is I guess these last 2 neighborhoods in general, we're flipping over to a different type of property. So really these are going to be more of your luxury tract homes, which most common out here are going to be tract homes. So I would say probably 90% of the area is going to be a tract home, right? And these are the 2 upper echelon tract home communities that are currently here in Temecula. So number 2 is going to be the community of Summers Bend. Summers Bend is a really cool community. It's newer construction. It's going to be built anywhere from like 2020 till today. So it's now, we're going to get ready to go into 2024. So it's all pretty new construction. And there's some really cool high-end luxury stuff there that's being built today. It's actually just been released over the last couple weeks. There is a section of the community there called Shawwood, where it's going to have these big half-acre lots and semi-custom estates, and with some really cool features. Very luxurious, anywhere from 3,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet, and it's really going to be the most desirable tract home part of Temecula for sure. It's going to be a big price point. They're going to be close to $2 million and over. Depending, what lot you're going to get, etc. And that's a lot of money for a tract home in Temecula for sure. But it's a super quality house, a super quality property, and not something you're going to see in most places. I think the biggest thing there, and probably the only reason it's not number 1 on my list, is it's a very small collection of houses. So there's not going to be very many for people to choose from. But I think over time it's going to continue to be super desirable. And in general, just that whole community it's definitely high end. It's definitely an area that people want to live in, and it's the last new construction master plan community here in Temecula. So area number 1 in the top luxury neighborhood in Temecula is going to be another tract home community, and that is Morgan Hill. So Morgan Hill is a super cool neighborhood. It is located kind of southeast portion of Temecula. It's located in it's the number 1 school district. It's part of the best high school in the area, one of the top high schools in the country, and they just have some real luxury homes. It is a tract home community, so you might have some of the neighborhoods going to be a little bit tighter together, and on your higher end stuff, you're going to have, again, your big half-acre lots, semi-custom features, and some real high-end features that are going to be there as well. But that's the number 1 community that people ask me about. That's where most people want to live. The school's a big thing there for sure. There's a lot of beautiful homes, a lot of beautiful properties that have been updated over time. And again, they're newer construction, built anywhere from like 2006 to 2012-ish or so, right around there. So it's not really an old area by any means, but it's newer homes, definitely a grand neighborhood. You get a ton of value for the HOA as well, and it's just a place that people want to live for sure. So that's going to be my list. Again, we kind of have a mix of your true custom home estates with some of those tract home communities, To summarize, so number 6, your wine country area here in Temecula. Number 5 is Dulu's. Number 4 is the Reserve at Crown Hill. Number 3, Santiago States. Number 2, Summers Bend. And number 1 is Morgan Hill. So hopefully that's good information for you guys. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. Thanks.